I want to bring in Kyle Labochi now. Kyle, you've been checking in with folks who are in the area, and I understand you talked to somebody on I-84. What are you hearing?
Yeah, I've spoken with a number of witnesses, both on the Washington side and the Oregon side. In fact, most recently spoke with a driver who was headed eastbound on I-84 before the closure. Keep in mind right now, I-84 is closed in both directions between Mosier and The Dalles because of this wildfire that's burning in the Columbia River Gorge. He had mentioned that visibility was extremely limited as he drove through that area. And we saw the video a few minutes ago just showing how intense that fire was and how quickly it was spreading. This is actually from his perspective. Dale Quackenbush shared this video with us. He was driving to his home in The Dalles when he saw this plume of smoke. As he approached, he quickly realized it was far more significant than he initially thought. At one point, he said visibility was limited to probably a vehicle or two in front of him. Drivers, though, were being very responsible, he said. Many of them were putting on their hazard lights, many of them pulling over to be careful. But you can see this is his perspective as a driver heading eastbound on I-84, and there you can see the smoke and the challenge in driving. He made it safely to The Dalles. Again, we want to reiterate that I-84 has been closed in both directions between Mosier and The Dalles. Drivers heading in that direction need to find an alternate route because in all likelihood it will remain closed for quite some time. You can see there some big rigs heading through that situation. Obviously this is a main east-west connector. We see it oftentimes closed during the winter months because of icing conditions. The situation has changed here in that we're dealing with wildfires and limited visibility. But again, a challenging situation for many of those drivers. He was relieved in the fact that he was able to make it to The Dalles. Many drivers, though, remain stuck because it is now closed. But boy, a challenging situation for any driver, and good to see many of those vehicles either pulling over or certainly putting on their hazards lights with limited visibility.
And Kyle, what's absolutely striking about the video, if we have a second to replay it again, is as you get toward the end of it, you see the smoke rising up the hillside, but also on the riverside. You see the hot spots. I don't want to call them hot spots. You see fires burning on both sides of the highway, open flames there with drivers kind of trying to make their way through. And you can understand how terrifying this must be from someone on that highway, wondering where it's coming from, if it's going to get worse with the visibility with that smoke coming down to next to nothing in that stretch. Kyle, stand by for us. If we can go back to the map that shows us the big picture, because again, there are two fires burning, one on the Oregon side of the gorge in the Rowena area. That's about 8 miles west of the Dalles, give or take. And then there's one, the Grant Lake fire. It's east of Carson. If you know that community, it's about 2,500 people, kind of opposite, a little bit further east of Cascade Locks. Just for a little perspective, those two fires about 20 miles apart, give or take.